How many minutes do we have? Or how many hours do we have? I'll just do a little brief story. So I am originally from Zimbabwe. But before I start, I would like to recognize my beautiful daughter who is here with me, Alexandra. It is important for us to bring our kids into these conversations. So yeah, I was born and raised in Zimbabwe, and I left Zimbabwe at a tender age of 19 and went to school in the US and did my education in embryology and I also in microbiology in the US. But my life didn't start like that. I actually, from the ages of 2 to 5, I was homeless in Zimbabwe. But we define homeless differently in Zimbabwe, in that my dad had lost his job, or he was losing his job off and on, and he couldn't afford to pay, so they would come and lock the doors and take all your possessions outside. So you're homeless, but you're outside your own house, and you can't get in the house. So that happened for long periods from the time I was in grade 2 to grade 5. But that never stopped me from dreaming. So now when Sosa came to see me at City Hall, and she was talking about how much she really, really appreciated walking into City Hall and not seeing any black people and coming over to my office and being the only black councillor actually in the whole region, in the Fraser Valley region. I can't help but look at it and say, that homeless child is now sitting at home, is now sitting in City Hall and running the budget for the whole city. That's the power of believing, and that's the power of knowing who we are, and that's the power of setting goals and working towards your goals. So that's the short of it. Perfect.
My heart was beaming with pride when I walked into the City Hall. When I walked in, I didn't see any representation of me, and I said, I'm here to see Councillor Trish, and they received me so well, and I was so glad. Like when you walked out of the door, I was like, this is like a perfect role model. So it's just amazing to see someone that looks like you.
Thank you.
What has your journey so far in Canada been like?
So my journey, so just so you know, I've only been in Canada for 9 years. But from the day that I came here, and several of the speakers today talked about, Alec James talked about having the power of 3. I believe in the power of 3 as well. Therefore, my 3 C's are communicate, collaborate, and connect. And I live on those 3 C's. So from the day that I moved into Coquitlam, I came through the US because I did my education in the US. When I moved into Coquitlam, I immediately started to communicate with people, to connect with people, and to collaborate in whatever it is that I was doing. So I started making connections from day one. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I managed to, in 9 years, there were 17 of us that ran for City Council in Coquitlam. And I came in number 7 out of the 8 seats that were available. And I credit that to my 3 C's. Had I not made connections, had I not really collaborated with people, I would not have made it. Nobody would have known who I was. So I'm trying to get really short because these answers I could go all day. I'm just giving a little.
You know, when we started at her office, we were there for an hour and she wasn't even done. What would you say, I know like while we had our conversation, you shared some of your highs and lows while running for office, but I'd like for you to share that with everyone sitting here as well today.
Really, when you say the highs and lows, when I was running, for me, I'm a positive person. So most of the time I focus on the highs. But of course, there are always the lows. And the lowest part that I can share was the lack of support from my own community. I was shocked. The few people that were in my circle that I reached out to immediately closed the door.
Whoa.
And I was told, for example, someone went to my Facebook and shared that, I didn't have enough black people that I was connected with. So therefore, they would connect with me later when I had enough. We're in Canada. And we need to communicate, and we need to collaborate, and we need to connect.
Right.
If we put ourselves in a silo, we will never make it.
That's right.
We are all a global community. We are a global people. So we really need to support each other. And for us, really our numbers are so low here that we need each other more than ever. And one of my mantras is that you have not started living until you start giving. Yes. But for African people, most of the time we think giving has to do with money. But you couldn't be ever so wrong. Giving your time, giving your ears to listen to somebody is just as important, if not even more important. So when I was running, really my biggest disappointment was that I expected to get a lot of support from my community, but I didn't, but that's okay. Maybe next time. And maybe if I step up next time, I'm helping somebody else. Maybe I will set that example. To say, if it's that one person that can come and help you, walk with you as you don't know, is just as important. Sometimes I did feel lonely when I was running, because I ran as an independent. So I wasn't associated with any political parties, so I didn't get any support from any parties. So I had to wake up every day. My daughter and my husband and my circle of friends did as much as they could. But sometimes I had to get up and say, you know what? I've got 2 hours here, I'm gonna go door knock, and I would go alone. But if one other person would have said, look here, I have 1 hour, I'll come with you. Even that 1 hour would make a difference.
Right.
So to me, that was the law. But the high part of things was just the support of the community. When I ran, I never mentioned that I'm a woman. I never mentioned that vote for me because I'm black. I never mentioned that vote for me because of whatever reason. I said vote for me because I am qualified. Because I have a lot to bring to the table. So the highest part of the whole thing for me was, I'm so proud of my community, of the people of Coquitlam, because they looked at that. They listened to me. And they went and looked, what does she have to bring to the table? Why should we vote for her? By giving me the chance of reading about what I had to bring, what I have done, and what experience I had. That made me so proud. And I cannot tell you enough that a lot of times we judge ourselves and we have a foregone conclusion that, you know what, I'm not going to make it. And we come up with excuses. And those excuses set us back. If you believe and you know what it is that you can give, stand up. And stand up tall and say, here I am. I'm here to report. And you will not be disappointed.
Thank you so much for that. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to share a quick experience. So before I reached out to her, I was quite hesitant. I reached out to her through Instagram and I said, okay, I'm going to send this message. And I don't know if she's going to reply, but when she replied, I was quite shocked because I have also experienced the lack of collaboration. People don't want to associate with you because you look a certain type of way. I think that's the reason why we should come together. What words of advice would you give to young African men and women, your brothers and sisters in the diaspora?
You need each other's support. And if you can have those 3 C's, communicate, collaborate, and connect. More so now with social media, we see what everyone else is doing, and sometimes we are ghost viewers, right? We are ghosting them and seeing what is it that they're doing. And we feel like we have been in touch with them, but we have not seen them for 2 or 3 years or 5 years, right? So the biggest thing that I can challenge you to do is really to reach out. Even just to say, let's have a coffee. I think African people, we like parties too. So we like to see each other when that party happens, but sometimes the party doesn't happen for 2 years, 3 years. But don't let that happen. Keep in constant communication with those people that are in your circle, and even those that you don't know, like what Sosa did reaching out to me. Reach out. And you never know where that will take you. A lot of times, especially for the young people, you're looking for opportunities. We wonder why we don't go up the ladder most of the time, and we kind of get stagnant. Why? Because we don't connect. Right? You need mentorship. If you're young and you're in this room and you have never had a mentor, I'm going to challenge you today that you need to have a mentor. A mentor is there to give you their hand and to hold your hand and show you the ropes and show you the road that they have already traveled. Right? And through that, you make so many connections and you open up the opportunities that you never saw or that you never imagined were there. So if there's one thing that you can take from today, is that you need to get a mentor. I'm a big believer in that. And that you need to really collaborate. And sometimes also we get caught up in our day-to-day life and we get just comfortable where we are. But don't be comfortable where you are. Reach for the skies. And if the skies are too high to where you need to step on somebody else's shoulder, find that person that you can say, hey, can you give me a hand? Can I step on your shoulder? Because there is where I want to go, but I need you. And you'll be so surprised that we all are willing to give. We all are willing to help somebody. So don't ever have an assumption and think that, oh no, I'm not going to do it. Do it. That's my biggest advice. Oh, one more thing actually. I'm a court person. So the other thing that happens is we look back too much, right? If you come, let's say you're new to Canada and you come and someone tells you, oh, you will never do anything here. They need the Canadian experience and they need this and you'll never get it. You start believing it. And that limits you. So I love the quote by Nelson Mandela, and this is all about you forgetting about what happened to somebody else or what happened to you in the past, just for you to look forward. Nelson Mandela, as he was walking out of the prison, he said, I walked out of the prison and I looked back and I said, I will never look back again. Because if I look back, I will be imprisoned again. I might be free, but I will be imprisoned because your thoughts will be imprisoned, right? So that's what happens to a lot of us is the things that we hear in the media, the things that have happened to other people, we take all that and we make it be part of us and we start believing it, thereby limiting ourselves. So don't look back to somebody else's experience. Make your own experience.
Thank you so much, Councillor Trish, for your words of advice. Thank you so much. I do appreciate. I can totally relate. Being an immigrant, immigrated just 6 years ago. 6 years in April, 6 years ago. So I can totally relate to what you said. So thank you so much for coming out here.
You gotta give my girl so much. For having been here 6 years and doing what she has done already, she is making her own path. Kudos to you. Thank you.